All right.
I'm coming. I'm over here. Whoops. There you go.
Good evening and welcome to the live podcast of Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. I'm Bob Pace and that is Danielle. And we're here as co-host of a live podcast that you found in Facebook. And we are here to help you every which way we can. You probably wonder, when I talk about CPS, I talk about the Child Protection System. It may have other acronyms in other parts of the country. I know in Arizona, there's my Arizona Pink Ladies. It's called DCS. And in California, it's CPS. And in Georgia, it's
DFCS.
DCS.
Yeah, DFCS.
So
yeah.
I like to go over our ground rules before we get started here. I like to welcome Dynamite G.
Mm-hmm.
She is definitely the first comment to come in tonight. I missed you this morning, Danielle. We had an interesting case that called in from Minnesota.
Minnesota. We don't got many Minnesotas, do we?
No, and it was quite interesting. She had the upper hand on CPS. She had divorced her husband, and she was trying to protect her kids and not get involved, but her husband was using CPS to muddy up the water and make her life miserable. So I worked with her looking up things and stuff, and she stayed with me most of the show, so that was good. It's a good podcast. Seems like when I have people come in, it is also the great.
Yeah.
Dynamite G says DCF outsources work to Daniel Kids. I don't know what's meant by Daniel Kids.
They're from Florida. They're in Florida. Dynamite G is.
Oh, they're in Florida. What part of Florida? My great niece was placed in the hands of a convicted methane cook. Well, was he working for CPS? For your information, I have a video on my page. Okay. Well, welcome. You're somewhere in Florida. Are you near Gainesville, Miami, Daytona Beach,
Tampa,
Vero Beach? I'm trying to think where else in Florida.
Fort Pierce,
Sebastian Inlet,
or Lauderdale, West Palm Beach.
Oh, she's from Homosassa. Never heard of it. I don't know if that's in northern or southern Florida, but welcome. And she's our first caller. And since Danielle's put up that beautiful pictures of the Pink Ladies, if some of you don't know who that is, those are the experienced social workers of Prescott, Arizona, that thought they were the cream of the crop social workers. What they did is they wore T-shirts that said on the front of their T-shirts, "Professional Kidnappers." And on the back of the shirts, they said, "Parents, do you know where your kids are at?" And what was so sad about it was this is the mentality of your CPS workers about parents. They paraded around with these 8 of them, with these T-shirts. Some were facing forward, some were facing back. But if you open up the picture, you can see professional kidnappers. One's facing forward, the one's facing back. It says, "Parents, do you know where your kids are at?" There definitely sends an image loud and clear that they purposely take children. They don't give them back to parents. That's why they're saying what they say, and they have 25 years experience. This all happened in 2022. But what's so bad about this is their mentality of thinking about your kids. So wake up for all you guys out there, guys and girls in there, that CPS is not your friend. They're very deceptive. I know from personal experience. There, Danielle blew it up. It says professional kidnapper. Now, can you imagine a social worker that's supposed to protect her kids from neglect and abuse and do family reunification? What message does that send out to all you out there? What message does it say to you right there?
That they're just playing games with us and joking with
Yeah,
us.
this is in Prescott, Arizona.
Mm.
Well, they wore it in department stores, and of course, they have been immediately fired. They didn't last long, and all 8 of them are gone. And the director of that Prescott child protection system is gone too. They call
Wow.
theirs in Arizona Department of Children's Services.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all part of the child protection system. It's throughout the United States. And the child protection system reports its history started out in the colonial days of the 1600s. And there was a severe case back then. And then in 1875, there was another case. So
Mm-hmm.
the first period of their history is from the 1600s to 1875. And then the second period is 1875 to 1962. And then the third period is 62 to the present day. They divided CPS into 3 periods. But they've been around a long time. But they're not certainly thinking about our kids or family reunification wearing T-shirts that they're professional kidnappers. No, they're not. So, okay, I'd love to hear about it, Dynamite G. Dynamite G is interacting with our podcast. I think I need to tell you the ground rules. First of all, you can, when typing comments about your case, please show your name, city, state, or county, and be complete with your CPS case. And yes, I mean countries. So far, we've had Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, Ghana in South America, above Brazil, along the coast there, below Venezuela. And then we've had Mexico, and then Mozambique in Africa, above South Africa, across from Madagascar, down from Somalia on the east side of Africa. Mozambique has CPS problems. And then Canada. Now, I've even heard in the news that ISIS, the terrorist group, has been having CPS problems too. It
Mm-hmm.
says their kids are being supposedly abused or something there. So it's happened to everybody worldwide in the United States. I've been talking to over 500 people in every state, and it seems like it's all the same. I've yet to hear anybody say anything positive, except one social worker did call in. Her name was Carol from Maryland, and she gave her last name, and she talked for 40 minutes and said that they don't do those kinds of things. The problem being is that I sparred with her, I gave her examples, and I encouraged her to come back, but she hasn't been back. And one of her listeners, Faye, thinks that she was trying to stalk Faye. Faye has been stalked a lot by the police and CPS.
Have we seen Faye lately?
Yeah, she's on this morning.
Oh, wow. She always
She's
in
on this morning. So anyway, that's one way of interacting, which we have our current person here. Um, the current person, Dynamite G, is participating with the comments. Now, another way that we love to have you come on is that if you want to call my office phone, it's 626 698 0990. And that will get you into my phone. I'll answer it, put you on speakerphone. And that way you can talk about it. You won't be on the camera, but you'll be on my phone. And you can talk about your case, ask some questions or whatever. And I'd love to have you on my phone. I'm making sure that my phone is all set for you to call into my office phone. We had the girl from Minnesota call this morning. It was really great there. So you can talk with that. Another way to do this is that if you want to be on my show as a guest, you can schedule a time. There's 14 shows. I'm on 7 days a week, twice a day, once in the morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for an hour, and once in the evening at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time for an hour. And all you have to do is email Grace at vincentwdavis.com. That's Grace at vincentwdavis.com. And tell her what you want to be there. I got a nice heart from our friend from West Hollywood, California, Natila, that she says hi. So I'm glad to see her. So if you want me to schedule, you just pick the show time, morning, afternoon, and you pick the date, Wednesday, Sunday, whatever date you want. Keep in mind, on Sunday every week, I come on at 8 o'clock in the morning only on Sunday. Some other days I may change the times, but right now I'm pretty much sticking to 10 in the morning and 7 o'clock at night. And Danielle tries to join me as much as she can. I'm so glad to have her. So glad to have her.
Yeah, I slept.
So,
I was slept today.
wow, we got somebody already.
We got a call.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. Speaker. All right.
Dynamite G.
Yeah, hi, Dynamite G. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, so no, basically I discovered a massive abuse of power here in the state of Florida by Daniel's kids.
Okay. Now, who is Daniel's kids?
So Daniel's kids is basically, this is actually really interesting. It's a non-profit organization, okay? But they contract with TCF, okay, for removing children, doing checkups on children, for placement of children, and also they do foster homes for children.
Now, how are they affiliated with? How are they affiliated with Florida CPS?
I mean, it's kind of like that's what they. I mean, probably are. They're just
Florida CPS contracts the responsibilities of their office out to them.
So it's like, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
so
illegal.
it's like they're using
That's
that nonprofit.
That's illegal. And when I say that is illegal, I say it's illegal because the government agency started this whole thing in the 1600s, and it's supposed to be part of social services. I do agree that foster care is separate. It's run by nonprofit organizations. But this Daniel for Kids is doing something more than foster care. It looks like they're doing what the Pink Ladies did in Arizona. They're professional kidnappers.
They were found in 1884. Daniel's prison.
So basically, I ended up trying to do a PIO with them, and they denied it. Okay, directly denied it, even though I'm certain that they're not supposed to be able to deny it. But I ended up getting their tax documents and everything else. They collect $5,000 for every child that they remove from a home.
Now, where do they? Who pays them? Who pays them?
Now there's several civilian organizations that pay them according to their tax documents, but also they received over 1,950,000 yada 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 of money from the city of Jacksonville.
Yep, it's in Jacksonville, and what's crazy is right here it even says that they help nearly 5,000 children, local children. That's crazy.
I'm sorry, we can only let one person talk at a time.
No, I was just saying he's right because it says it on the website.
Well, I understand you're at the website, and it just the thing that disturbs me is that it's not a government entity. You see, the child protection system was enacted by Congress to protect our kids from abuse, neglect, and to do family reunification. It's a branch of social services. And what they're doing there in Florida, Daniel's kids, is illegal. It's called child trafficking. And it's also, they're professional kidnappers. We don't need those kind of people hunting down kids or ambulance chasing or driving the neighborhood looking for stray kids. It's hard enough for parents that don't have jobs or low income that are trying to take care of their kids. And it's sad to hear that this Daniel's Kids is an entity that supposedly, and you say they have a tax documents. Well,
1884.
They got to have, they can
agency
be turned in. Has
Florida.
anyone turned them into the IRS? Because of the.
Well, since they're a 501c3,
they can lose that. I know what.
I haven't personally turned them into the IRS,
Well, a
But
501,
looking at it, they
yeah.
have very, very little reported stuff.
Well, a
Oh,
501c3 is a nonprofit entity. I know all about that through an organization that I was a part of for 25 years. And you have to file a tax return and you got to be legit or you can lose that status so quick. All you do is report it to the
and
IRS that
in
someone is abusing that.
in 2015, the
It
DCF.
shows all their pay documents. They're making literally,
Uh-huh.
or the master of them
Mhm.
is getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. They
just by doing this.
in 2015 they renewed their contract with DCF down there and expanded it.
Well, this is sad to hear this. This is the first I've heard about that, but I know if you
Same here.
contact the IRS and report the abuse of the system, right now,
Their contract goes out
CPS
next year.
makes $50 billion a year and money from the state, who in turn gets it from the federal government.
Wow.
All the states are run by a county organization. It may be a different name in each state. It could be Department of Children's Services. It could be whatever it is, but it's a CPS system. And they, run the protect our children from neglect and abuse, and they're run by the social service in the state. They have what's called a civil right coordinator or an ombudsperson, and you can contact them and turn them in if they're doing what those pink ladies are doing. They won't last long.
Is the only ones they help is local people in Jacksonville or around that area, the local area? Because for some reason 5,000 is all they.
With the problem.
Huh?
And she ended up placing her child with me.
Uh-huh.
He says his niece left a child with him.
Okay.
And since she was failing all her drug tests and, basically not seeing her daughter, never visiting her or anything like that, when I told her how to properly feed her baby, how to hold her baby, how to change her baby's diaper, how to be a responsible parent, she blew up because she was withdrawing from her, drug habit. And rather than tell my niece, it's best that you leave the child with them until you get yourself squared away, okay? Because your child will be in the family. They would rather remove the child from my care, where like I said, I'm a medically retired Army combat veteran. I have 4 children of my own. I own my own home. I'm married. They would rather remove my great niece from my care and then give my great niece to my niece's friend, who is a convicted methamphetamine cook.
Wow.
I shit you not. I did a background check on this guy.
Wow. What was their reason to give the kid to the other person, the guy? Like, is it the kid's father?
He was not getting along with us.
Oh.
But the problem is, she was failing every drug test. And it's like, how irresponsible can government be when they're dealing with people's children? At least I'm trying to keep my great niece out of foster care and the care of the family, so that way it doesn't get lost in the foster care system, killed in the foster care system, molested in the foster care system, because that's what happens like 90% of the time.
It does. My son, I gave guardianship to my mom in 2011, and she had guardianship up until she passed away in 2022, because that was, I wanted, my kids did not need to be in the system, never. And my mom stood to her, and provided for my son and took care of my son, and I was still in his life. And she passed away, and now the state has him, and I'm fighting to get him home. He turned into an adult. Yeah, and you
shouldn't have to fight so hard to get your child home.
No.
Well,
especially considering the fact that they were never involved, and just because of a family member that put him in the state's hands and lied to him. They didn't do their job. And I even have family that
they don't have the incentive to actually do their job. They actually get paid because they're not. Their incentive is money.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Their only incentive is money, and they don't do their jobs properly because if they did them properly, then they would not get the money they get.
Right.
Well,
And
they must have been doing something right for 140 years because no one's ever complained about them.
Right, and I was looking into that too. So what you got to do, it wasn't always just Daniel's Kids. There's the founder of Daniel's Kids. You got to look into his name.
Well, no, it looks like it was a religious group
Okay,
140
Daniel
years
find a
ago.
whole plethora of
Right.
information.
140 years ago, it was a religious group that got involved. And they also, United Way gives them money. They get money from United Way, I see.
Yep.
And they get their accreditation from COA. It's tough. Here I'm reading about it, quickly about it. But it's only for Jacksonville, Florida. It's not for the whole United States. And so they have
what I'm saying. It's really weird that they're contracted with
CPS.
Yeah.
Well,
CPS.
the thing is, you would have to investigate the CPS in Jacksonville. I don't know what county it is, but you see, every state, how CPS is administered is through the counties, and they have a 24 phone number they can call in and say they got a case and they want to put people, they want to report. Lay people or professionals will call in, and then that county has.
Well, you see, and that's the thing too. When the mother actually threatened to accuse, when the mother of my great niece threatened my wife at knife point and threatened to kill her and everything, we reported that to the caseworker. Caseworker didn't care. The telephone hotline people never got back to us. This is not the way these types of organizations were meant to be ran. This used to be handled by churches, within the communities, within the family, okay?
Right.
With the help of neighbors, okay? And it's devolved to such a point to where the government realized they could make money by doing what they're doing.
Well, CPS learns it because they're making $50 billion a year.
Well, I'm just pretty much, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little burnt out. I haven't seen or heard from my great niece. She's only 7 months old, well, 8 months old by now. She was malnourished when we got her, and she ended up gaining weight. We were taking great care of her, but she was literally like maybe 7 pounds, and she was 4 months old.
Well, how did she get taken from you? How was your niece taken from you?
Because, since Daniel's Kids itself is not a government organization, the way this was explained to me by some Harvard Law School attorney or whatever, okay, but only contracted with CPS, they weren't responsible to give us all the information that we are requested. Basically, the mother's rights are still intact. Even if she's using drugs, even if she's,
could she have been the one could she have been the one, your niece, been the one to request that the child go to the guy she's with now? That if her rights are still in place, was she the one that told them about him, or because like as a standby guardian type? Or
him, because I tried to give her proper guidance on how to feed her baby, because she was literally laying her baby flat on her back. I was just calmly trying to explain things to her on how to do certain things, and she just did not want to take advice. She blew up in front of my 4 children, and look, I'm not perfect at raising kids, but I've got 4 of them, and I know how to raise babies. I was trying to give her advice, and she was withdrawing from whatever drug she was on. So she wanted her baby moved from our care to her friend's care. Evidently, they didn't do a background check on her friend, and he has a whole list of felonies and everything, and he just got out of prison and all that.
Did you ever have temporary guardianship or anything over the kid?
I'm sorry?
Did you ever have like any kind of paperwork, like documenting saying that you had that you were a caregiver of the child, or anything at all?
Yes, we had something that her mother signed. Daniel's kids gave us an action plan stating that we had, caregiver rights and, responsibilities and everything else. None of that mattered. The mother changed her mind.
Well, not only that, Daniel's kids can't do the authorization for guardianship. No. That has to be done by a government court. That has to be done by
terminate it. File a petition to terminate it.
It's got to be petitioned to the court. Daniel's kids is not a government agency. Their thought behind Daniel Kids and what I've read so far
sounds like he can go there
a long time, and they're trying to help out people in needs in the Jacksonville area. Kids that are abused, kids that are abandoned. They're like Boys Town.
They say they're not a government organization, but they are contracted by the government, and in that way they're receiving federal or state tax dollars.
Yeah. Let me ask this: the kid.
Where lies the problem?
Well, if like the paperwork you have, stating you're the caregiver, is this something that when they who took the kid to the person, the guy, was it the mom of the kid, your niece? And is she just because her rights are still intact, she's got to file through the courts to terminate whatever's in effect as far as the paperwork you have, unless there's, like you say, there's unless they're falsifying documents and stuff. Have you ever been to court at all about the kid?
I've tried filing for custody, but since I'm fourth on the family lineage for my great niece, the state of Florida has a law that's in effect to where they can only go to the max of a third on the family lineage. Any more than a third of the family lineage, you will not be able to adopt or petition for.
So a friend that's no blood is over a fourth of generation family member in Florida? Wow. Is that so? Her friend has more rights or more of a chance to get the kid than you do in your family? Is that how?
That's right.
Wow.
That's right. And instead of doing the research on this guy, they rather, they took this poor baby girl that was doing great here in this house, okay, safe, still within the family, and they took the baby girl out of the family into a very dangerous situation. And I actually have the video up on my page, and where I was confronting the worker with this information. Mm-hmm. And she's a public servant, and she, in my opinion, she's a public servant because she receives federal or state funding, but she was absolutely dumbfounded when I handed her the guy's criminal history. And she still went ahead and took the code there.
Well, here are the requirements for guardianship in Florida. You have to be an adult, which I assume you are. You're a legal resident of the state of Florida, which, I mean, if you're living there and pay taxes, you are. You're required to successfully complete the state-approved 40 hours of instruction and training course. Have you done that?
Yes, I have.
And then you're going to pass in-course exam. Afterwards, pass the statewide Florida competency guardianship exam. Have you done that exam?
My wife has done that one.
Oh, okay. If it's uncontested, if your guardianship's uncontested, it takes about 90 days.
And it would be uncontested because the mom would
The
be
judge
fine.
wouldn't even. That's the problem, though. The judge wouldn't even hear it. We paid somewhere around $700 in total to get the paperwork in front of the judge, and the judge asked me, "What's your relation to your great niece?" But he said her name, and I was like, "Well, I'm her great uncle, you know."
Right.
And I'm trying my best to keep this baby safe. You know, she's doing great here, Your Honor. And nope, that was all he had to hear. He didn't hear nothing from CPS or DCF, whoever they are. Okay. He was like, "I'm sorry, sir, but you are fourth on the family lineage chart, and unfortunately, the state of Florida is only allows up to third on the family lineage chart to be able to be a guardian or for temporary custody or even adoption." And it just blew my mind. You know, we grew attached to this baby girl, you know, and I was trying to help out I was just trying to help out my niece by doing this so that way she could get on her feet. And she really just took it as a vacation. Some people don't want to change, you know, and she was still using drugs. She was still, you know, going along with Daniel's kids. And then Daniel's kids, they were also very, very rude when they were speaking with us because we knew our constitutional rights. We knew that, you know, we knew everything we had to do for the child. We got her proper medical care, everything. They did not like that at all. For whatever reason, they did not like that. And I think it's because we don't live in the same county as my niece did. I don't know if they would.
Did you try to file stuff in that county that your niece is in?
It was in my county, and the mother was in their county.
But where was the child? Was it with you? Wherever the child was, that's where it should be filed.
Yes. She was with me.
Okay. So I don't see why they're not. Wow. Daniel's kids got to be something that's blocking it with the courts and everything, because that's what judicial circuit are you in down there? Are you in the 12th? Judicial, the 10th. Okay.
I'm in the 10th.
The 10th. Okay.
I believe Jacksonville area is different.
Okay. Let's see.
Well, it seems like I've seen nothing mentioned about lineage in Florida. So I don't know where you're getting that from. You know, it's both voluntary, involuntary guardianship. You have to be adult, and you actually could be from another state. I mean, long as it's not contested, I think what your problem is, someone is contesting behalf of that daughter against you being a guardianship.
It has to be the Daniels kids and the mom, but he should still be able to fight that.
Well, no. The mother of the child is contesting our guest here on the phone being a guardianship.
And I'm her uncle, and that's the thing. I raised her.
They don't care. They don't. If someone, but if a parent contests it, you know, the biological parents are the first in line. And they're typically the best parents are the biological mothers and fathers. Now, if there's something wrong with the mother or the father, then yes, there could be another guardianship in there. But if the mother's contesting it, you got to prove that what she said isn't true. She may have said all kinds of bad things about you.
Can you? And have you proved anything on her?
How quickly we were shut down in silence.
Wow.
You know, even the media organizations around here absolutely love Daniel's kids because they throw money at people left and right, but you should see what these people are getting paid. You know, it is absolutely insane.
Well, their minimum donations start at $1,000. They won't take anything less than $1,000. I mean,
have you contacted any of your Congress people?
I didn't understand you.
She's talking about you may have to take this politically. And if you're going to take it politically, you know there's 2 senators for every state, and there's also representatives, and they in turn you contact them, and they can help you. They can help you.
You know what? That's something I didn't think of. I'm going to give that a shot. Thank you so much. I really do.
No. All you need to do is that you have to go to Florida. Danielle, can you look that up? Who the Congress people are in Florida?
Because that's what I did here in Georgia, and it's there's a big John Ossoff, and this is the one that him and Tennessee's the lady from Tennessee's involved. It's like a big thing, and Florida was on up there, I thought too. But yeah, I'll look it up right now. Who are?
And if you can, just take the time out to watch that one video on my page. It's going to blow you away.
Definitely.
Okay. Where is the link for that video? Definitely. Where is it?
You click on Dynamite G.
What, your name?
Uh-huh.
Right, my name, and it'll show up in my videos. I just had it restored because they filed a privacy complaint against it.
I'm going to have to search on the internet. Click your name and nothing happens.
I'll do a search on it in a minute. Hold on. Here's the senator information. I'm sending it to you, Bob. Hold on. Let me get it. This is the senator to contact. Her name's Erin Grayle. Hey, hold on, Bob. I'm adding it right now.
All right. Okay. And while you're doing that, I wanted to address one of our listeners. She is from Rochester, New York, Rosemarie Lombardo. And she says that her CPS worker wants to talk to her over the phone tomorrow, which is Wednesday. She says she needs to talk about something. I don't like talking to her on the phone. I like texting her so I can keep track. Well, Rosemarie, I don't think you should talk to CPS workers. They're just going to lie to them. You need to have your attorney. Now I need to find my notebook so I write this down. She called and texted me today, but must document. I agree with you, Rosemarie. The grandparents of my daughter won't take my daughter, so I have no choice but foster care. That is sad. Something is preventing her from taking care of her child, and she has her grandparent, her mom and dad, but they won't take her daughter. And so these are the first people I called when this happened. I'm so sorry, Rosemarie. They're talking about a return in August. This was said in front of the judge.
That hopefully get your minute orders and make sure it's on record that what they said in the courtroom.
Okay, this is Senator Erin Grayle. Okay, that's one person start there.
I see that there. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Yeah, that's some politically speaking. That's where you want. Do you have Danielle his YouTube video that I can watch?
I'll go look it up right now too.
I won't watch it on the show, but I'll watch it after the show. Where did you put the link?
On the YouTube page? Is it on YouTube?
It's in the shorts. I apologize. I'm not too good with YouTube. But it's Dynamite G, and then you'll see it in your comment thread.
I'm looking in the comments section.
Okay. I'll find
the last
it.
comment I have is from Nadia from West Hollywood, California.
That is so weird. I wonder.
No, Bob, I'm gonna
Rosemarie Lombardo, who's from Rochester, New York, said it was said on record that she would get her children back in August. So she's been calling in lately. We have a lot of followers that call in regularly that listen to the show. And we do there.
it's coming up. Hold on. I'm looking at it. Mm-hmm. My computer's slow.
Okay, you got disconnected, Dynamite
Okay,
G. I
he
can
said
call
that.
you back, Dynamite G.
I'm looking it up right now, Bob, the video.
Yeah, I'm just going to
Pulling it
try
up.
to get.
My computer just extremely.
Well, somehow lost our Dynamite G there. I don't have weird. Today.
What? Did it go off?
Here it is. Here it is. I'm calling him back.
There we go.
Yeah, I lost you, Dynamite G. I called you back.
Hey, thank you, brother. I was watching. I was like, okay, I don't know.
No, he
much
said
more.
it's under.
What, Danielle?
So were you able to find the video?
I'm looking up on YouTube. What was the name of? The name of
It's called Dynamite G.
Dynamite G.
Dynamite G on YouTube. Dynamite G.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let me. That's Eugene. Let's see. There's a lot of Dynamite G's. The shorts, you said? The short videos?
See, I don't know why, but I
Right.
posted the link into your live feed.
Well, here's Faye. Danielle, she just came on. Faye from Richmond, Kentucky.
Okay.
She says hi there.
Okay.
I don't know
All right,
why
here
it's
we
not
go.
coming on there.
Yeah,
There's a bunch of songs
they
on
had
here.
the video removed, and now I guarantee the YouTube algorithm is messing it up.
Oh, they removed your video. Okay.
Oh, they removed it?
I don't know. I just
No, I just have
No,
the video
I'm still looking.
from a prior removal,
okay.
and I guarantee it's being censored.
Yeah, that's what. It's probably on here. It's just probably underneath all
You
these
should put it
songs.
on Twitter.
People that
Elon Musk does not censor
Oh.
anything. You should post it on Twitter.
Is there a way to send it to you in an email, maybe?
No, you just should be able to comment. You were commenting here before. All you have to do is comment again unless someone is blocking you.
All right, here, let me hang up and try to do that, okay?
Okay. All right.
All right, thank you, brother.
You bet. Okay.
'cause
Wow.
it's
Daniel's kids.
Dynamite G. It's coming
You're
up.
so sad. Someone this morning asked me, is Boys Town gone in the desert and in California? And I said, well, they're gone from California because they were trying to run group homes for CPS, and they found that they were very bad at doing so. Boys Town should stick with kids that don't have parents, not get involved with CPS. Rosemarie, if you want to call, let me put that there. Rosemarie, if you want to call, you can call in right now. You can call in right now.
Okay, there's his. Oops, there's some comments.
I don't see any comments from Dynamite G,
Just
except
had
the last one at 7:42. He got disconnected.
it. You got this.
I know you are, Rosemarie, but if you want to call me, you're from Rochester, New York, right, Rosemarie? And I want to help you, Rosemarie, if you can call back in there. Anything new, Faye? I'm so glad to have you from Richmond, Kentucky. And Natalie's been hanging in there from West Hollywood, California. And she does try to help. She's good about that. Right now, for all your listeners, we've been talking about Daniel Kids in Gainesville, Florida. They've been around helping out children that are in bad shape for 140 years. It started as a church group helping out, but now they've expanded where they're contracted with CPS in Gainesville, Florida, which I never heard of a CPS contracting. The only ones I heard were foster care. But as I say, CPS is very corruptive, very, very, very corrupt. And okay, here it is. Dynamite G says this is the link. I don't see anything after this is the link. Well, Danielle, what do you think we should do? Should we talk about my 3 rules or talk about other topics? What should we do? We have about 12 minutes left of the podcast.
I mean, we can talk about that Daniel's Kids. It's weird how it's local, like just in the Jacksonville area, which ain't right.
Well, Dynamite G, if you hear me, I don't see the link. All you say is this is the link, and they're crooks. And this is the first I've heard about Daniel's Kids, and so
yeah, CPS Florida. Let me type in a different way. Maybe you know what? I can search him a different way. Hold on. What am I doing? Ugh. I can go.
We're trying to find the video for Daniel Jean on the YouTube video.
There he is. I found him now. Yeah, he's right. All child welfare cases are now.
Can you copy the link and put it to me in private chat? Do you have your headset on, Daniel? Do you have your headset on?
Got my, no, I got. I'm talking through the thing, but I'm trying to look. I found his thing. It's Daniel Kids DCF contractor unaware of misconduct and negligence. Is that the one he's talking about?
Yeah. Can you send me the link in the private chat?
Yes, I'll send you his Yes, let me pull it up real quick. I'll send you the link to his profile.
If you could call in right now, Rosemary, because you've asked me lots of questions, but I haven't been able to answer you, Rosemary. And Faye just sent
it's coming up, Bob.
Nothing there, so. Ooh,
I'm getting it, Bob. It's just gonna.
Okay.
It's coming. It's extra slow today.
One of my most important rules is you need to get an attorney in fighting CPS. And, it's really hard to find a good attorney that knows how to fight CPS. And what I tell people is that you want to word it so that, for example, if you're in Georgia and you live in Athens, you could pick Athens and Atlanta, which is nearby, a big city. You say, find in Athens and Atlanta, Georgia, a pro bono dependency attorney. And you should get a list of names. The reason why I tell you to do 2 cities is that your small city may not be known. Also, the reason why I say pro bono is that there are attorneys that will not charge, and you can start at the pro bono level, and then maybe they're more affordable as you start to go through them. But you need to find 10 attorneys so you can call them to find out, 1, if they're in business by talking to them, if they are. 2, you need to find out if they fought CPS. Danielle, you're really coming in garble. I don't know what's happened to you.
No, it's gotta be my connection. I found it on. I sent you the link. Can you still hear me? I think it's my. Did you get the?
Okay, I have the video. I have the video, so.
Okay, I'm gonna try something on my internet.
But anyway, going back to my rule number 1, it's really important that you get an attorney. You need an attorney to work in CPS. CPS is very difficult. If you notice those pink ladies, that's the attitude they have. They're very deceiving. They're not transparent. They lie. They retaliate. And it's like they're like a spider. They'll weave a web around you. They don't like parents. They don't like seniors or elderly people, and they don't like grandparents. They are really, really disgusting. And I can honestly say that because I'm talking from my own experience in California, at the southern part of California I was involved in. And I've been fighting them for 14 years, and they've had nothing to say but nasty things. And they're very corrupt. And if you try, I always tell people think of CPS as Alice in Wonderland. You've fallen in the rabbit hole in the garden. You're now looking through a lot of rooms with doors that go nowhere, with people that don't know what they're saying or what they mean. That's what CPS is. And CPS has got to be treated like heart surgery. If you're going to get operate on your heart to repair your heart, you're going to get a bona fide doctor. You have to get a dependency attorney to fight CPS. You need someone that can be there to fight for you. So rule number one is you find an attorney. And after you get listed 10 names, you call them, you ask them, are you pro bono? Have you fought CPS? Have you gotten children back from CPS? Have you fought in dependency court? Then you want to have consultations, and you want to have at least 5 people to consult with. And one of the people I'm going to give you is the attorney that sponsors this podcast, Vincent W. Davis. And he can be reached at 888-888-6582 at his law firm. And you tell the receptionist that Bob Pace sent you. And then when you speak to Mr. Davis, you tell them Bob Pace sent you. He'll do consultation for 30 minutes for $60. 30 minutes for $60. And he'll talk to you about your case. He'll strategize how to fight CPS, how to get your kids back. And if you like him, you can also hire him. His retainer is reasonable, and he'll go anywhere in the country, Northern California, and you go to other places. All he does is he charges for his transportation, and car rental and an airfare, and then accommodations to stay where he's at. And so, plus his lawyer fees, which are the same fees whether you're local California or not. He's reasonable there. Oh, Natalie, I'm sorry you had a bad dream on the pink ladies. Yes, 15 years of fighting. I agree. It's been a long road with me. So anyway, you're going to get these 5 attorneys to consultation, and you're going to pick one that's going to defend you. They're going to be defending you. You don't want a court-appointed attorney. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. They will not defend you. They have a caseload of 30 people, and they just, it's pointless. You're going to find out that CPS is corrupt. You just can't. Yes, Dynamite G, she thinks she did. She thinks she did.
Yeah.
I have it here. I have it here. Let me see. Where did it go? Oh, I did have it here.
In the private chat.
Okay, I go back to private chat. I had it there, and it went there and started playing. There's something about workers towards a veteran husband and wife. Simply, they went over there, and he's interviewing a lady. Daniel Kids, a DCF contractor, unaware of the misconduct and negligence. I think that's what I want.
Mm-hmm. He said, yeah, that's it. Yep.
Okay. Oh. Okay. What happened to my picture?
Bob, where'd you go?
I don't know. Let me go back to my room and come back. I don't know why I'm not shown there.
That is weird.
I had to go and add me back in. Wow. I'm back in, but somehow I was lost. Do you hear me, Danielle? Danielle, are you still there? Okay. Danielle, are you there? Hello, Danielle.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you I had to take you off and put you back on.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah. That is good there.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're censoring the video, Dynamite G. Now we have 5 minutes. My rule number 3 is very important. I want to talk about that one. And that's where you do not talk to social workers. I was trying to tell our friend from Brooklyn, New York, Rosemary Lombardo, that you don't need to talk to them. You need to use your attorney there. When you are approached by a CPS worker or the police or together, don't allow them in your home. If you're inside the home, don't answer the door. I don't want you to die like that black airman did on the 22nd of May. He was gunned down because he opened the door. So don't open the door. They have to have a court order to come into your home to take everything there. That's sad, Daniel G. You have he has recordings. But whatever you do, say yes, no answers to social workers or police. If you're outside and you feel uncomfortable, tell them that I need to speak to my attorney. They don't know if you have one or not, and it's your constitutional right. So that can end the conversation. They're going to try to use false paperwork, court warrants that are for other cases. You have to be careful when you read what you're saying there. So, CPS is not your friend. They're not there to help you, and they take all children, whether in imminent danger or not. My kids were taken, they're in school. They thought they were in imminent danger, and they placed them in more danger, and they're abused in foster care. I know this from a firsthand experience. I know how vindictive they are. So, best thing to do is when someone knocks at your door, get the further part of the house, lay low. Don't be near any open windows. You don't have to answer the door. You don't have to talk to social workers. You don't have to talk to the police. So, and the same thing goes for medical trafficking. They're going to try to take your kids when you take them to the hospital to get them looked at. Or you're going to have a baby at the hospital to try to take your kids. It really was sad. I've talked to some parents that their kids were intensified service and then they were taken away the other day. I think, Danielle, you're with me on that. And that was a parent. I forgot what city she was from. Arkansas. And I've lost Danielle. She's internet is not all that good. Yeah, lots of Wi-Fi issues, I guess. Yep, medical took Natalie's kids from West Hollywood, California. Medical trafficking is a bad thing. So remember rule number 3, do not talk to social workers or police. Don't let them in your home. They have to have a court order. Don't let them take your kids. Don't bring your kids to the social worker. In fact, if you can, put your kids in another state with your family members to look over your kids while you get your mess taken care of. Because they're very vindictive. They need that business. They need $20,000 per child. The federal government pays the state in turn pays the county. Now, that county must register your case with the state. You need to check with the civil rights coordinator, the ombudsperson at the state level and see if your case is registered. If it's not registered, your case is closed. Your kids are returned back to you. You need to check that out. You need to talk to them at the state level. You also may want to enlist a congresswoman or a congressman that can help you politically. You may have to get political input from these people. You may have to on that. Okay. Well, I'm getting close to my end of my show. I want to thank Daniel G for talking on the show, for exchanging with things. I want to thank Danielle for being my co-host, Faye for coming in there, Nadia. I want to thank you from West Hollywood for all that you do there and sharing what information you do and so forth. Who else we had? Oh, we had Rosemary Lombardo from Brooklyn, New York. I really hope that you stay away from the CPS worker. You're smart about texting because at least it's recorded information. So, but be careful of Daniel's kids in Florida. I don't know. It's something new tonight. I'm going to look into it better on that. So, let me see. Anybody else I forget? Dynamite G, I got him. And then, nope. All right. Well, good luck. Keep fighting for your kids. God bless y'all. This is Bob Pace signing off. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. You guys, God bless you and take care.